Let's learn more about the NAR lawsuit and how it affects you as a consumer. Just a reminder, the three main takeaways from the lawsuit are that NAR is going to have to pay out a ton of money, the buyer's agent compensation section in the MLS is going away, and realtors will be required to enter into a buyer-broker agreement with buyers. Now that we're all experts on agency, we can actually look at the buyer-broker agreements. Let's take a look at the agreement and what all it actually says. I'm going to put up each page so you can take screenshots and read it in more detail, but I'm going to go over some of the major points. If you have questions about any specific parts of it, just shoot me a message or leave me a comment. Section 4 is going to define the broker's obligations. Section 5 is going to define the buyer's obligations. Yes, the buyer has obligations as well that they are agreeing to. This is really going to help ensure that the buyer's agent is able to properly do their job. Section 7 spells out how much the broker will be paid for their services. It does also specifically say that any amount paid by the seller or the seller's broker will be credited back to the buyer. Section 9 talks about early termination. If you are not happy with your realtor, you're able to cancel the contract. I always tell people that if they're not happy with my services, I wouldn't expect them to stay in a working relationship with me. Section 12 is where it's going to disclose the agency type that we talked about in the previous video. So this is going to be additional duties that the realtor has in addition to Section 4. Now, since there's 3 different types of agency in Florida, there's 3 different buyer-broker agreements that could be used for this. I used the single agent agreement for this so you can see. I look at buyer-broker agreements like an engagement letter with an attorney. For most people, buying a home is going to be the biggest purchase of their life, and having a buyer-broker agreement in place can help give peace of mind knowing that you have dedicated representation, protection of your interest, and an actual contractual agreement of what to expect throughout the transaction.